I am Parker, and I use they, them pronouns.
And I'm Mike, and I am he, him, and whatever else fits. And this is the Graphic Novel Podcast. Welcome to our show.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, this is a show where we read graphic novels or sometimes some short comics, zines, things like that. And then we do a review discussion, and we can talk about a lot of different things on this show.
Sometimes we talk about divorce. Sometimes we talk about abortion. A lot of times we talk about queer issues.
We have kids and relationships, all different kinds of stuff. So so it's a cool show, and we're glad you're listening. And if you like our show, we'd appreciate if you go to
Twitter, go to Apple Podcasts, and give us a great rating. And if you leave a review, we may read it on the air.
And if you visit us at anchor.fm, Graphic Novel Podcast, you can actually leave a voice message that we can play on the air.
That's exciting. Do you remember growing up and hearing your voice, thinking how cool it would be to hear your voice on the radio? Yeah.
All right. Well, and on to today's show.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, Parker.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing better this week than I did last week at this, almost around this time.
Oh, yes.
It was, for those of you who listen to us on a semi-regular basis, you noticed that there wasn't a show last week because we ran into multiple problems saving our recordings. The first time we recorded last Wednesday. Oh, yeah, this is Thursday. Last Wednesday we recorded, and we lost the entire thing, which was fine.
It just disappeared.
It did not save. Then we tried again on Thursday, recorded multiple segments, and
disappeared again.
Had one of them disappear, and then tried doing it again, and I snapped, and that was the end of that. It was not a good time.
It was not.
It was not a good time. It was not a great weekend after that either. But
there was no weekend after. Oh yeah, I guess not your weekend.
I worked all weekend, which was probably better. But anyhow,
it was nice to get some space. Still
in the coronavirus lockdown here, although things are slowly changing. Sounds like elective surgeries might be opening soon.
Yeah, they opened up in Oregon today. Not as of today, but they made the announcement today.
And California says that they're going to be lifting theirs too. So it sounds like it's getting close. It's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are going to be able to start attempting to get back to some semblance of normalcy. But a lot of stuff I've read has been, we may never be the same again.
Yeah, and this is just the first wave.
Well, yeah, that's the big thing. But according to Trump, that's not what's going to happen. It'll be just a tiny thing come fall.
Well, I mean, this wasn't even a thing come anything. So
yeah, they realized it was a little too late. But anyhow, we have just a few things to go through. I got a few news items. All right. Several items. First thing, real quick. Gold Diggers from Anarchic Press. It's a book I used to read back in the 90s when we had our comics TV show. And it started in the 90s and ran for like 25 issues. They were all black and white. In 1999, became a colorized issue. It's the longest creator-owned title out there. And it's the second longest female lead comic behind Wonder Woman. So that's pretty cool. So what they're doing is on Kickstarter, actually on Indiegogo right now. They are collecting money to colorize the issues. So if you're interested in that stuff, it's pretty good, pretty cool story. I used to like reading it. But yeah, that's a Gold Digger from Fred Perry. Another cool thing is there was author. Let's see, what was her name? Witches of East End author Melissa De La Cruz was approached by DC and said that they wanted to do a YA book from one of their, stable of characters. Said, "What do you want to do?" She said, "Batman." So she ended up writing Gotham High as a YA book, which basically is Batman reimagined as a high school student at Gotham High. And in this, she writes him as a rich Chinese American loner. He's got some friends, a woman who becomes Catwoman, or a girl at this point, and a guy who becomes Joker. And Uncle Alfred, the butler for Batman, is his uncle, and he's also gay. The right-wing nuts don't like the shit, but that's too bad.
I don't even know if it's the right-wing nuts so much as it's
the religious zealots.
Well, but are religious zealots really the ones that are reading Batman? What do you think? It's those comic book nerds.
It's the and a lot
Nerd
of them,
gate, or what is it called?
Comics
Gate,
yeah.
Comics Gate.
Yeah, a lot of them fit into that right-wing shit too.
But it's not. They're not necessarily right-wing in other ways, are they?
A lot of them fit into that. Everybody's not. I used to read. My friend, who was very liberal, used to read comics and superhero comics stuff. So it's not all. Obviously, we can't just generalize and say it's all of them.
But I felt like it was. I was thinking anyway. Like, clearly they in their homophobia and misogyny, they side on what the typically right is. But in other ways, do they?
I don't know. I don't know if they do.
I just figure they were misogynist, homophobic people.
Well, I'm sure they are.
Well, there's plenty of liberal folks who are.
Exactly. I was just going to say that. Liberal people that are too, just as bad. And the last story, we mentioned before that with Diamond Distributors shutting down for at least April, not shipping anything, DC had gone ahead and started doing a digital release of their comics. But several companies have now announced that they're going to be, first of all, Scout Comics announced that they're going to be self-distributing. And DC came out, and on the 27th of April, they are going to be shipping with alternative distributors. They've got 2 new distributors, one on the West Coast and one on the East Coast. So Diamond may be in trouble. And it used to be back in I don't know how far back, but definitely in the 90s, there were at least 2 distributors.
Right.
Maybe 3. And Diamond consolidated everything, which, made it cheaper probably for the companies, or easier, for Marvel and DC and Image to ship their books to one place. But now everything's changed, and maybe it's time for a change. So
I know we talk about everything that's happening now a lot, but it just, I feel like I hope that things will change for the better.
Well, yeah.
I hope that all these people like you who are essential workers are actually understood to be
appreciated,
essential and appreciated after this is over.
Well, we make decent money, but people like the grocery
store people who for a long time have just made minimum wage.
Yeah.
And put up with some of, retail work is some of the hardest shit, dealing with some of the nastiest people.
Yep, exactly.
And I just feel like, I hope that things change for the better in that aspect. I hope that people realize, and companies, but I don't think that they will, honestly.
No, probably not.
I think that's very wishful thinking.
Yep. A couple other quick.
Sorry, that was way off topic.
No, it's okay. That's kind of what our show is. A couple more real quick things. Dynamite Comics, they offered a special grab box for $10 with free shipping. I must have got 20 comics.
Yeah.
A lot of them are issue 1s or issue 0s, but 20 comics for like $10. Plus a special edition one that doesn't even have any words on the cover. It's just the photo, the picture. Betty and Veronica and Vampirella. Got that today. But Dynamite also, if you go to Comixology, they have a whole bunch of comics you can get for free on Comixology. So if you really are into that, and our Antarctic Press also offered a bunch of free stuff on Comixology. So go check out that if you're looking for a bunch of free comics that you can read right now. If you don't have an account, you can get a free one if you have an Amazon account or anything. So there's a ton of comics out there, so you can a lot of companies are offering that stuff.
Very cool.
So very cool. I think that's most of the opening stuff.
Cool.
You want to do the posty post?
What?
All right.
The theme song?
Why don't we get to?
We don't have a theme song like that.
No, not yet. We'll have to work on a theme song.
I wonder how many people are going to understand that song that you just sang.
But that is so catchy and so stupid at the same time.
But we could actually hire them.
I know. Probably charge more than we want. But
that's terrible.
So anyhow, last week this episode is called "In Spite of Ourselves and More," and we were playing off that a lot.
It's not "In Spite of Ourselves and More." It's
no, that's the name of our episode.
Oh.
That's what we were playing off last week until it blew up so many times that in spite
of more kind of tinkled away.
It just became "In Spite of Ourselves" and huge mistake. But anyhow, so we read "In Spite of Ourselves" by Natalie Dupille.
And it's amazing. Okay, so In Spite of Ourselves, done entirely by hand in watercolor and ink, In Spite of Ourselves is a short autobiographical graphic novella that follows Natalie and her partner as they embark on a 4-day bikepacking trip through Central Oregon. The book encompasses themes of ability and athleticism, relationship dynamics, and gender. So,
Natalie Dupille, first of all, contacted us back in December, said, "Hey, I got this book coming out. Would you like a copy to review?" And I said, "Sure." And then didn't hear back from her until March. And she's like, "Oh, I forgot to send you a copy." so she sent
things settle down and you're quarantined.
She sent the copy. But back in February, we had made a trip to Fantagraphics down in Seattle and to their bookstore. And I remember seeing it. They had the book there because she had
that's right, because it just came out in January, and she did a release party at Fantagraphics.
But they have some of the I don't know if they still do, but they had some of the original watercolors up on the wall, along with the books, so you could see how cool it looked. The originals, and it's very cool. I love seeing different styles. You see different styles that different people do in different ways. Like we've commented on some of the people that do these real detailed, like Rooftop Stew. Like he did real detailed black and white backgrounds and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you've got like this, which is these real, the colors are like a lot of muted and flowing colors and real soft. And but it's cool seeing the different styles that artists use to create, this great art.
Yeah.
So Natalie Dupille is a cartoonist and illustrator based in Seattle. Natalie's art focuses on documenting travel, relationships, and the natural world. Her work has appeared in many publications and anthologies, including The New Yorker, The Stranger, The Seattle Weekly, Taproot Magazine, Oh Joy Sex Toy, and Chainmail Bikini. Some of her self-published comics include In Spite of Ourselves, Fried Bananas, Total Lunacy, and October Diary. She was also a founding member of and an inaugural artist at the Pacific Science Center's Artist in Residence program.
Oh, very cool.
And to go along with that, she is not just a cartoonist. She also has a degree in gender studies. And it's not coming up on my phone very quick, but she has a degree in gender studies, and there was some other stuff related to that, but very cool.
I do not remember.
Yeah, it's not. My phone's not responding quick enough. Anyhow, she sounds like she is very talented and a very educated person.
Well, we can see that she's talented
and very educated.
Yeah.
So why don't you? You said you give us an overview of what the book's about. So let's start talking about it.
Okay. Well, so it starts out with them talking about. Oh no, they're packing the car. That's the first thing. Well, I like
her and her partner.
Her and her partner Allie. And they're packing this car, and it made me think of when I try and help you with things that like I don't know. Like I think she's like wiggling the tire or something, and she's like, "Is that helpful?"
Oh yeah, they're the bikes on the bike rack.
They're like, "Sure, sure, that's helpful."
Yeah, they're
on the bike rack of the car.
Sure, thanks a lot.
Thank you. It looks like a Subaru.
Oh yes, you've done great help here. Thank you.
Thank you. And my next favorite part is just on the very next page.
I know what you're gonna say.
They're going over the checklist,
Mhm.
and Natalie says snacks, and Allie says check. Natalie headlamps, Allie check. Fun, positive attitudes, shut up. Fine, but I think you meant check.
Right, exactly. So their plan was Allie
Yeah,
planned this.
Allie was is the biker. So they had
Right.
made this. It sounds like made the plan on where they were going to go biking.
Mhm. So they were going down to Prineville, Oregon, which is not too far. It's
6 hours.
3
I think you
hours
said.
southwest of Portland, but not too far from Bend, Oregon.
Right.
So they were going to go down there, and then they were going to bike this trail and backpack, or camp overnight, and bike around and do this big loop, and then come back, get in their car, and leave.
Right.
And that was their plan. And apparently Natalie is the planner of the couple. So Natalie always plans everything, much like you planned our wedding, without much help. Right?
Is that true?
I planned the honeymoon. You planned the wedding. I think the two of them together were very good.
Yeah, I remember driving in the car with you, and we would be talking. I would be telling you all these things.
I know
that I had planned for the wedding. I was like,
Uh-huh.
okay, and we're going to do this, and we're going to do this, and this,
Uh-huh.
and this. And then we'd be silent and just sitting and, I don't know, watching the cars go by or whatever. And then you go, you know what I was thinking? And I would go, oh my God, finally, he's going to have some idea, some input on the wedding. Yeah, what? And then it would be something about the mob tours.
Yep,
or
that's exactly.
something.
I know,
And I'm like,
yeah. You said that to me multiple times too.
I'm
thought
sure
you were going to talk about it.
I thought you were going to talk
Or
about
you
it.
thought you were talking
The
about
wedding.
Oh yeah, I thought about it this morning for
20 minutes
30 seconds.
for 30 seconds. Oh God. Anyway.
I mean, I went with you to do, check out the venue and stuff like that.
Oh my God, you make it sound like that's not something that would typically be done.
Okay, so they were planning on going on this 4-day backpacking trip. So they get down to to Prineville. First of all,
is it Prineville or Pineville?
Prin.
Oh.
But there's an E, so I'm thinking it's
Prine, probably, yeah.
So they get down there. It's evening, night. It's dark. They want to camp. And the GPS and the map is not finding the campsite. So they don't know what to do.
I can't even imagine. We would be at each other's throats.
Yes, we would probably be fighting. So Allie's angry, and they are like, I don't get it. My phone says it should be here. So then, they find a bar. They go in there. They get a couple.
But they're so reasonable, right? Like, it's so much more reasonable than I would imagine we would be.
Well, but wait, here's food reference. This is the first time, really.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Natalie's like, look, can we just get some food and we'll figure it out there? And then they find a bar, get a couple drinks, order some food. Woman is like the barmaid. So what brings you to the town?
I don't think that's the appropriate word.
Bartender.
Okay.
All right. The barkeep. We're doing a bike trip in the Ochos? Ochocos?
I don't know.
Something like that. And she's like, oh, hope you brought warm clothes. Like, oh, it's supposed to be 70s. And they're like, it's supposed to snow this week? I'm like, oh, we prepared for 70s. And they're like, no, she can't be right. So anyhow, so they get their food, and then she's like, so you're packing, right? And they're like, you mean like a gun? And she's like, yeah, we got bears and cougars and people and who knows what else. So she was getting them a little riled up.
Yeah.
They weren't quite sure. Then they found a campsite, camped for the night, woke up in the morning, and they were freezing. They're like, holy shit, it is cold here. So they weren't prepared. They went and got... No, they didn't do that. No, not yet. They went... Oh, here's where... Then they took off and did this part.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so they're driving. We don't need to tell the whole book.
No.
I feel like we're going page by page here, but this was one of the things that I also read and made me think of something else. When we... I think we watched it on Netflix or something. Or was it on cable. I don't remember, but we watched this special. I think it was Netflix when I was in this big marijuana phase and I was like watching all the cannabis shows.
Yeah.
And they're talking about
right.
About that mountain in Northern California.
Yep, where
the mountains where like these people live and they just have all these pot farms.
Illegal.
They were illegal at the time. I assume they still are, but and then and people just ride around on these four-wheelers. And so Natalie's drawn out these camp hunting camps and all this stuff and things. They're driving. They decide the first day, things aren't quite going to plan. Let's drive the first part of the course and just see what it's like. And then this is what they ran into: hunting camps, guys on four-wheelers, everybody's got guns. They're like, this is not how I imagine things going. Yeah. And so they're like, okay. First of all, like in my head, I'm like, I am so glad that they decided to drive it, because this is exactly what I would want to do. I would want to know what I'm going to have ahead of me.
Right. I mean, it would be planned, but then
you'd want more. Allie had planned it, right? But obviously they had never done it. They had never been there before.
Right.
So it's just like I mean, you know how it is when you try and plan something. And I'm one of those people who I would be on Google Maps and trying to drive the bikes right through Google Maps just because I have to see it. I have to, I am not.
But some of it's supposed to be trails, so you wouldn't.
Right, you wouldn't be able to. And so that is why I am not a fun person. I'm not the person who does a 4-day bike trip. But they decide after seeing some of it that they probably should come up with a plan B.
Yeah. So they came up with this plan B. Decided to do this three city circle from Bend around to Redmond and Three Sisters, was it? And so they
sisters, yeah.
Three Sisters.
I don't see three.
They
Welcome to Sisters.
Okay, so they do this new circle, and overall it goes well. They have a decent time. But like, first of all, like any couple, they have a few snags, because like you said, Allie is the biker in the group, so they want to pedal away and
well, yeah, this is where they feel comfortable. This is their territory,
But before,
whereas Natalie is like, I mean, I don't know how long I've been since she'd been on a bike.
Exactly,
but it definitely wasn't something she did all the time.
Because Allie's a bike mechanic, and they built a bike for Natalie too, probably just for this.
Yeah,
because Natalie probably hadn't been on a bike in a while.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, well, I can do this because you want to do it. We're a couple. We can do these things together. I'll do something that you like, that kind of thing, Yeah. And she probably thought she could do it. But once they started doing it, there was a food issue in there too, when they were having trouble trying to do their plan B.
Oh yeah. Allie says something along the lines of because things weren't working and
Natalie,
Allie said that they didn't deserve to eat.
Well, Natalie said we should get something to eat. Or
can we get something to eat? Can we get something to eat? And then they said we don't deserve to eat because things were just falling apart.
Yeah.
And that triggered something in Natalie, and made her feel like she was just this, fat one who just,
Yeah.
And obviously that's not what Allie's intention was.
Right.
But what you say affects people. Yeah. When I read it, I went, "Oh my God, she probably feels so terrible, poor Natalie,"
Yeah.
And then worried about Allie too, because then it makes me think that they have some kind of disordered eating thing going on. Yeah. And especially if they did, and either they didn't know about it or were in denial or whatever. And anyway, that's just my own personal experiences of how I can't even tell you how many times I've told myself I don't deserve to eat.
No, I get it.
So,
I mean, I've never had those problems.
Yeah.
I've never had anything like that, but I understand being with you. I understand a lot of this stuff 100,000 times more than I ever did. And reading these things, I could see that right away. I could read those things as soon as I read them. I'm like, "Ooh, that's not a good thing to say."
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, she felt that it was important enough to put it in the book. So obviously it stuck with her for a while.
Well, yeah. And then she says later too, like, I'm too fat and I can't, I'm the slow fat one.
Yeah.
You're in better biking shape. And it's like, but of course, like,
if somebody bikes all the time,
it doesn't matter if you're fat. Like if you bike all the time,
yes,
yes,
exactly.
and how can you like I've been in that place before, and it just made me want to hug her.
Yeah. Well, so they did this trip, and reading it, we talked about this before. The book triggered me in a couple ways.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm reading it and I'm like, this looks fucking cool. I mean, it's like about 40 miles a day, and it doesn't sound like a lot.
Oh my God, no, that sounds like so much to me.
know, but it's like, you know what? Just and Natalie loves horses. They saw horses twice, and she's like, horsey. So
we talk about every time we drive past that horse farm every day. Our daughter, oh God, I can't even.
Bojack.
Oh, Bojack.
We open the windows and yell Bojack. So yes, I have to say that we're not much different. The horses are literally 2 minutes from our house.
We walk by, or we don't walk anymore. But when we walk my oldest to school, our oldest to school,
you walk past them. We don't yell at them because there's other people around. But in the car when we're driving,
we're driving it, nobody knows.
It's all of us, like the kids. We're all yelling.
But you know that when school starts up again, hopefully in the fall, Isabella's gonna scream something about Bojack.
It's okay.
And the parents are gonna all be looking at us.
You let your kid watch Bojack. Just the non-sex parts. But
what?
But so it sounds really cool to me, and I look at it and I'm like, you know what? I'd like to do this. I mean, not now. We've got kids, and it would be way fucking too much with them. I mean, we probably couldn't go a mile or two.
What about when they're and I can't even. I mean, I ran with Isabella and Gerlando the one time at the gym.
Mm-hmm.
We ran a mile.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I carried Isabella part of the way.
Yeah. I mean, I did a bike-a-thon when I was 10, maybe.
How far did you go? A bike-a-thon?
It was like 20 miles or 10 miles or something.
Just riding in a circle?
I don't remember.
Oh.
I remember
we never did bike-a-thons. We did jump rope-a-thons.
No,
and
it was a bike-a-thon.
Jump rope for heart.
That's
what we did.
Ago.
Well, I know that.
But yeah, so anyhow, so that part sounded really cool. But then it immediately reminded me of my ex, who in New York, they have this thing once a year. I think it's in August. It's called the Bike the Erie Canal. Most people have heard of the Erie Canal. And it ran from Albany
boxes.
From Albany to Buffalo. And in Buffalo is where it starts. And it's like a 5-day trip. They ride. They have places they stop at, like they're usually colleges. They have dinner for them.
Oh, really?
They stay overnight. They like camp overnight. They have trucks that bring like all their equipment and everything.
Right.
Like everybody throws all their stuff in the trucks, and then the trucks go ahead and drop it all off. So it's a cool thing. But my ex started going to them, and I think that's where she met this other woman, who then they started going on other trips. And she wanted to do these trips all the time. And at one point I said, if you keep doing these trips, we're going to break up. You keep taking trips, vacations without me. Yeah. So she decided she thought that was a better idea. So she left.
Okay.
Oh, if that's the case, then I'm going.
Well, you gave me a path.
Yeah. So anyhow.
Oh, poor Mike.
That's all right. Anyhow, that but the book ends up. The story ends up.
So if you didn't have kids at the time, I feel like you wouldn't have had any interest in.
Well, we had kids.
I know, that's what I'm saying. If you hadn't had kids at the time,
I may.
Would you have been interested in going?
I may have gone with her
because, like, we see.
I probably would have gone because I couldn't go because I had to babysit the children.
They were your children.
Well, they were my stepchildren.
You weren't
but yes,
babysitting.
Kind of was. But anyhow, you're right. I had to watch the children because she wanted.
You had to stay home with your children.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, I feel like it just wasn't your jam.
Yeah.
Like we see people when we've driven over the mountains, we see people on the mountains pedaling, and you're like, I am so fucking glad that's not me. But that's where they're pedaling. I mean, they're not pedaling that mountain, but they are pedaling up in the hills and stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't, like, I am not, biking is my preferred cardio for, when we're at the gym, but I can't imagine going on this ride,
Yeah.
especially not being a person that bikes
Yeah.
regularly.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, she was taking on a lot.
Yeah, it was.
And she did amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And
she did it.
And she enjoyed it.
Yes.
At least she appears to.
I wonder if they did another trip.
I don't know. Probably never again. They probably broke up after that.
Oh, stop. No way.
No,
they settled everything so neatly.
I know. It was good.
It was
good.
It was a very good relationship.
It was a good it shows how people can in spite of ourselves you can do things that maybe you're not comfortable doing, and maybe as a couple, you have your own conflicts with each other, but yet you solve them all. You finish this project. It's anything. I had to fix a toilet. It took 2 days. 2 days,
but it got done.
And I didn't swear. I don't think at all.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, but
you got angry at one point, but you didn't.
But I didn't get.
And you didn't break anything out of it. Like sometimes you get so frustrated, and then you like work too fast. I feel like. And then something like snaps, and you're like, "Oh,
our last house in Buffalo, I whipped something across the kitchen and took a chunk out of the floor."
Oh yeah, that's right.
When I was remodeling the kitchen.
That's why I just stay away from you when you're doing home improvement projects. Not because I'm scared for myself, because you've never hurt me at all. But yeah, because it's not me. You're just frustrated with whatever's happening. Mm-hmm. But I know better than to even get involved. Yes. So I just step back.
Yeah, the toilet thing.
And
you hung out. You hung out and watched, and you were there if I needed anything.
Yeah, but I knew when to, and I told you multiple times, I could feel the frustration coming out. By the way, you gotta get that thing out. It's sticking out of the hole. Anyway, I could feel the frustration coming on. I'm like, let's just take a break. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. It's fine. Yeah. We have 2 bathrooms. If we only had 1 bathroom, it would be trouble. I would have.
It would have been an all-day project to fix it. Then we would have to go to the store 10 times.
What did we do? Oh, when we were replacing
we went to the gym.
We went to the gym.
Yeah, when we were remodeling our bathroom at that house, we went to the gym to shower and.
I mean, we worked out while we were there. But.
I think the toilet got done in 1 day. I think I replaced the whole toilet.
Yeah, that was just a one day thing.
We had to replace the tub and everything. We were putting all that in, so we went to the shower for a few days.
Which is where I usually showered anyway, so it wasn't anything different for me. But you didn't usually go to the gym with me.
Yeah, but I did then, so I had to work out then too.
It was really just my secret. I just wanted you to remodel the bathroom so I can make you go to the gym with me.
Every 6 months. Let's remodel the
bathroom. We need a new shower already.
Yeah. So, in spite of ourselves.
Speaking of showers, wait. Our favorite.
Yes.
I've already said like every part of this book is my favorite.
Know, but
this place I want to go so bad. Yeah. I will not be biking there.
No, I think I could drive.
There were these private
hot
springs, and they're not like it's like a cabin. They're tubs.
Yeah.
And then they have a pipeline from the hot springs that comes into these hand-hewn cedar tubs.
Yes.
And Natalie writes, is this paradise? And in my mind, I'm like, it fucking looks like it.
Maybe after coronavirus is gone, we could
I think so. That. It looked amazing.
Yeah, it looked very
cool. And we didn't
cool.
talk about either. Allie's reasoning behind wanting to do this specific trip was because they had top surgery coming up, and they wanted to prove that their body could do this. Mm-hmm. Because when you have top surgery, your body is obviously a lot different, and you're in recovery for so long. Some people are like out of work for 6 weeks. Yeah. It's a lot. Yeah. It's a lot on your body. And, and so knowing that they can't do those things, this trip was really important to them because it was going to be the last bike trip with before their reconstruction. Yeah. And, so, and that obviously resonated with me. I had my top surgery scheduled and canceled and hopefully rescheduled for the summer. But, and I've had those thoughts often. This will be the last thing that I do. Hey, my first and last pandemic. Yeah.
Well, there's always the fall.
Oh no, that's going to be nothing.
That'll just be a little flu.
Well, hopefully the fall I won't have them anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, so then we kind of felt why
Yeah.
the reasoning behind Allie's
Mhm.
frustrations with everything that they had, they had worked for, why it was so important to them
Right.
to be the one that made all those
Yep.
plans, and then to punish themselves because the plan didn't go
Right.
as they wanted. So,
But I think they did enjoy themselves then in the end.
yes, it does seem like they definitely everything ended up going
Yep. According to Plan B.
right.
You made a joke last week too that Plan B was always the best way or something too.
Did I make that joke? That doesn't sound like me.
Anyhow, it's a good book. The art is really really nice. I love the colors
Love the
and
art.
everything.
The watercolor was definitely different.
It's really nice. A good story. It's a nice story to read.
And you can find it at Natalie Dupille's Etsy shop. You can purchase it for $15, and you can add personalization if you want. You can indicate if you want it signed.
Mm-hmm.
Put in there. You can put in there. You have 100 characters. You can say what you want.
Oh my gosh!
If you search, and I think it was on her website, if I remember, Natalie Dupille, DUPILLE.com, and then click shop, and you can find it from there.
Sounds good.
So go purchase it.
All right. Next week, I don't know what book we're reading next week.
Something.
But I've read so many. We have a lot to choose from.
So many to choose from.
So many. Bunch of gay books coming up too.
Why did you say it was so much?
I've read a bunch of gay books, so we're gonna have to.
The books are gay, like they're attracted to other books.
They are. They are. And the people inside are attracted to other books too. All right. What? So until next week or next time or whatever it might be, I'm Mike.
And I'm Parker.
And this is
the Graphic Novel Podcast.
Thanks for listening to the Graphic Novel Podcast.
Make sure you find us on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Graphic Novel Pod.
The other places, I think it's Graphic Novel Podcast, but it's Graphic Novel Pod on Twitter.
I was surprised I remember that much.
I know, because you know what? I would not have remembered that. That was good. And if you like the show, please go to your favorite store that you listen to podcasts and at least give us a 5-star. Or if you have the time, leave a review. You can send us an email at graphicnovelpodcast@gmail.com.
Tell your friends about us.
Definitely tell your friends about us. Check us out. Visit us on social media, on Twitter. That's where I am the most. It's on Twitter. I try to avoid Facebook at all costs. And you can also, if you go to anchor.fm /graphic novel podcast, you can go to our site and you can leave us a voice message. And if you leave us a nice message, maybe we'll play it on the air. Is that it? Nothing else? You don't want to say anything else?
Nope.
Good for you, Krabby Butt.